So we recently had Rell Brothers actually showcase the whole entire part 1 development video for Rell, but that video is like an hour long. So what I'm going to be doing inside this video is basically talking about everything that they've shown to us and basically breaking it down for you in the simplest way and showing it to you as well. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'm not going to waste any time. Let's actually get right into it. Also, comment your whole entire opinion on Rell. I've been seeing some crazy takes about it. Some or majority of it is actually love for the game, and the rest of it is obviously hate. But still, I am really excited for this game, so let's actually get right into it. So you'll actually be able to progress with basically everything inside Rell. So any type of progression is going to be welcome. No matter what you're doing, it's going to be a form of progression for you. There's also going to be multiple talents inside the game, and some of these talents that are going to be tied with progression are going to be fishing, woodcutting, cooking, mining, becoming a shipwright, crafting, or navigation. And now specifically for thieving, there will actually be a system like picklocking, where pretty much you're going to be able to look at chests and kind of picklock through it so that you can open it and actually get loot. Picklocking will probably be the only way to open up chests as far as we know right now. There's also going to be a fishing system for this game, where pretty much you're just going to be fishing and you have a chance of pulling up multiple different items. None of your stats will actually increase your attack power. So if you actually look at the stat page for this game, none of them actually directly increase attack power. They said inside the video that they're actually going to be showcasing that at a later date, so we don't know anything about it until now, but it is guaranteed to us that you can't actually just put all your stats into attack and just go one-shot somebody. You can actually upgrade your utilities through a tier system from tier 1 all the way to tier 3. So what your utilities are is the stuff that I recently just talked about, where it's going to be woodcutting, cooking, mining, becoming a shipwright, crafting, and navigation. Pretty much you can upgrade all of these to tier 3, and maxing out in one of them will allow you to be the best at whatever utility you choose. Also, all materials will be able to upgrade your weapons, and they'll be randomized around the map. So the materials like a bear tooth, a dragon's claw, sheep fur, pretty much all materials of the game, you can use them to upgrade your weapons, and in total you can actually upgrade your weapons 20 times inside of Rell. So once you hit it after 20 times, you're pretty much going to be at like a hard cap for your weapons, or your weapons just can't be upgraded past that. Another important thing towards weapons is that you can also enchant your weapons with these 5 enchantments, which is going to be fire, ice, poison, lightning, and sea stone. We haven't seen anything for the enchantments so far inside the game, but these are actually 5 confirmed enchantments that are going to be coming, and you can put them on any weapon presumably. Blueprints are probably going to be the main form of progression inside of this game, and you'll get blueprints from exploring the whole entire game, and all materials will be used for it. So pretty much any material inside the game could be used for a blueprint for you to craft something that you don't even have unlocked yet. But blueprints are going to be the main form of progression inside the game because you're going to be exploring. A really important factor to me, and one thing that I actually really do like, is that there is going to be NPC interactions with each other, where they actually go out and do tasks together. It was briefly shown to us, but there were some NPCs that were talking, and these NPCs actually came up with the plan to like go build something inside the town. And pretty much there's just going to be NPC interactions. It's not clear if NPCs are actually going to like affect the world of Rell itself, but there will be interactions between NPCs. Another important factor for this game is that there actually is going to be a merchant system. And this is pretty much a system where you can place the value on an item if you find it, and you can put it into your own entire bag and just walk around with that bag. Now, once you're done doing that, you can actually trade it and sell it to players, and you can spend your whole entire time inside this game just selling rare items and collecting items to sell it to players. You'll have like this endless bag that you essentially just walk around with. It's not clear if there will be something like an auction house, which I personally feel like would be really cool and a nice place for merchants where like PvP can be turned off. But there will be a way for you to actually sell all these items as a merchant and just make a living off of it and progress off of it. Now, you can actually purchase mounts from a stable, and mounts can also attack. Now, the mount attacking hasn't been shown to us, but more on the topic of purchasing mounts from a stable, pretty much you'll be able to purchase mounts. It's not clear if you're only going to be able to get mounts from a specific stable, because I doubt it, but there will be multiple mounts inside the game, and specifically shown for us some mounts you can actually just get from a stable. Wildlife will actually be able to spawn everywhere as well. It was briefly shown when they were showcasing the combat, but wildlife can pretty much spawn everywhere. You can be exploring the seas and a kraken will spawn, or you can be standing near some ruins and a T-Rex would actually spawn on you as well. Wildlife is completely random, and any type of wildlife will probably be able to spawn anywhere, but there could also be like region locked wildlife. Now the next couple of things is just mainly going to be focusing on the combat itself and what was actually revamped to us from the combat sneak that they've shown before. Now to start off the combat revamp, there's actually changes to dashing, Geppo, and they basically changed the Geppo system so that you can be able to up tilt and just play the combat much more smoother. Because before, the Geppo system would just only send you upwards, but now it's mouse aim. There's also a way where you can secretly execute players. Now this is probably mainly going to be used on NPCs, but there is actually like an execution system where you can just sneak up on a player and be able to execute them. For combat, there's also going to be a ladder system where pretty much you can just up tilt a player and do a combo inside the air. There's also going to be two types of parrying, and the first type is going to be the right click parry. Now this right click parrying is actually going to push your opponent back compared to the Q-spec parrying, where it's actually going to let you combo send off of it. So if you parry by clicking the right button on your mouse, this parry is essentially you pushing their opponent so that you can get some breathing room and they can just get off you. Compared to the Q-spec parry, where if you parry with this, the opponent is actually going to be stunned right in front of you, allowing you to combo off of that. Now there also has been multiple swords added to the game. It's too much for me to list, but just to get a general idea, there's weapons like Yoru, Gravity Cane, daggers, hammers, and there's just too much for me to even talk about, so I'll just like leave the footage playing up on the screen of them cycling through some of the weapons. But there will be multiple weapons inside this game, and each of them will have a unique grip animation. Another important factor towards the combat is that there is actually going to be a system where you can switch between weapons mid-combat. Now, I'm not sure if this is exactly what was shown, but one of the Rell brothers, they were actually using a sword, and then they were able to switch over to a gun mid-combat and like constantly shoot the other person with a gun while still having the sword inside their hand. So there will be some type of way to switch between weapons instead of the combat, which is honestly like one of the coolest things ever. Moving on from the combat though, there's actually going to be a crew system where you can hire NPC crewmates to work for you, and there's also going to be NPC crews that are just randomly put out towards the sea. So if you don't have any friends, you can hire NPC unrealistic friends. Yeah. And this is just a promotion, but when the game actually does come out, I'll most likely be starting like Marine faction, if they have Marine factions, which I'm hoping they do. Towards crews, you can also create your own crew icon, or you can pick between some of the multiple stuff that they actually made for players. Pretty much you can like alter the skull, there's up to 50 options, and it's just a whole lot of crew customization that you can do. You can also change the whole entire color for your crew, and you can also choose like a set outfit for your crew members to wear, and there's just like a whole lot of crew customization. And now moving on to the big topic that is going to be ships. Now there actually is a lot to cover for ships, and I'm not going to be talking about entirely everything, mainly just highlighting the important stuff to you towards ships, but there actually is going to be ship customization. And there's going to be 3 types of ships that were shown to us now, which is going to be a sloop, caravel, and galleon, and it has also been confirmed that there is going to be marine warships. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same for pirates. But towards these ships, you can customize all of them. You can have different attack types for your ships, which is pretty much an attack pattern where you can attack to the side of you, the front of you, below. There's just going to be a whole lot of different attack types for ships. You can also have a crewmate who's going to be a shipwright, which is pretty much somebody who's going to work on the ship, and this will allow them to place multiple types of furniture on the ships. You can place pots and pans on your ships. You can place a stove on your ship. Your ship could essentially be your home at the sea. But this is also another cool feature for ships. but you can actually customize your ship stats and see it overall. Now, to customize your ship stats, you're just going to have to do this by changing and putting different type of materials on your ships. And depending on what you put on your ship, it will actually change your stats. Let's say, for example, you have like dragon wings on your ship. Your ship will actually move faster and most likely suffer in the health department compared to you having thick, heavy rams on your ship, where your ship will actually move slower but have more health and deal more damage to other ships if you were to ram into them. Your ship material can also change from wood. Now, it has only been shown to us that you can go from like wood to steel, and I'm pretty sure that there's probably other stuff too, but your ship materials can actually change for the ship itself, and this would also play a factor into like your ship's health and your ship's speed as well. Along with that, with ships you can also get a steam or ship engine, which is like a power system to make you also go faster on ships. You can get crew members from events that are actually going to be randomly around the game. This was just a one-off note that the Rell brothers actually talked about, but yes, you can actually recruit members from events. So you could probably save somebody from like Kraken at sea, and then that person will want to work for you or join your crew. Another cool important feature towards your ship is that you will actually have to anchor your ship, or people will be able to just steal it and you won't be able to despawn it once they steal it. Now, basically what he means by anchoring your ship is you have to place an anchor deep down inside the ocean once you're actually docking your ship on a certain island. And if you fail to do this, anybody will be able to come by your ship and essentially just take it and go on a free ride with it. And you, the person who lost their ship, won't be able to spawn another ship, and you'll actually have to get your ship back from the person who stole it. So you will have to anchor your ship unless you want somebody to steal it. Defeating certain mobs will also drop certain crafts for your ships. So earlier, like how I was talking about dragon wings, a certain mob that you defeat will actually be able to like drop wings for your ship, essentially just stuff that's going to be changing like the overall stats of your ship. And this is like probably the main important part of ship combat. There actually is a whole system and different game physics for when you're fighting on the ships. Now, it does look a little bit buggy, but they've made it into where it's like a custom movement system for ships so that you're not entirely completely buggy on it. Essentially, if you're fighting on a ship, you can Geppo on it and you'll still be moving with the ship even though you're Geppoing inside the air. I'm not sure if it's only going to activate when you're on the ships, which is exactly what it will probably only be activating for, but nonetheless, there will be a whole entire different ship combat. So it's not like if you're fighting on the ship and you choose to Geppo, the ship will continue going forward while you're just standing still and not moving at all. There actually is a strict PvP system for ship combat. There's also going to be different zones on the sea. Now, they only talked about 2 inside the video, but there is going to be tsunami zones and stormy zones, and also sinkholes that will randomly start up whenever a sea beast spawns, a kraken spawns. Just in general, there's going to be different type of zones on the sea, which will pretty much tell you that there's going to be some type of weather system that will just affect wherever you are inside the world. This is also something else that they highlighted will be really important for ships, is that devil fruits will not be the main form of combat for ships, PvP, or even exploration and traveling inside the game. So what they also confirmed in the podcast after uploading this video is that devil fruits are not going to be like huge AoEs where you can just destroy everything. Now, unlike the anime, like how Ace is able to destroy several fleets of ships or Sabo, inside this game, your devil fruit will not like be stronger than a cannonball. So if you're a devil fruit user and let's say that you have something like Phoenix, somebody with a cannonball can actually shoot you out the sky, and it will be much more effective using your ship to fight versus using your fruit to fight. And the main reason as to why they're doing this is because they don't want to create the game in like an atmosphere where one day down the line they add a new devil fruit, and then that devil fruit just completely like throws off the balance that they've had on the game since release. I honestly really think that's like a nice, cool idea and topic, because that means that devil fruits will probably only be good in like PvP versus a player, where even still they said that hockey will be better than that. So yeah, it's cool to see that devil fruits are basically confirmed to not be overpowered and the most important thing inside the game. This was also confirmed to us that there will also be water travel with mounts, and mounts won't rival ship combat. So just to go back to like the devil fruit topic, you'll also have mounts that will work cool inside the water. We haven't seen any, but there will be mounts specifically for like water and stuff, and they won't be that OP when you're like fighting inside a ship battle. And for ship combat, they will also have hit markers where you create weak points for the ship, and it will essentially just act as like damage multipliers. They've shown it to us, and it's like these huge icons where if you were to aim your cannon and specifically try to hit that spot, it would actually multiply the damage and make you take down the other person's ship a lot faster. Moving on from the ship combat though, this is also another very important thing for people who are interested in being Marines. There will be a jail system with 3 levels to it. Now the first level is essentially just going to be a waiting cell. It wasn't shown to us, but we can picture what that's going to be, just a cell where you're waiting in. Level 2 is going to be mining. Now this system was actually shown to us where you're just going to be placed inside like a temporary confinement zone where you're going to be mining rocks. And after a certain like amount of mining, you will actually be let go of the zone, and you'll have to like gepo over the gate to just leave the whole entire marine area that you're placed in. And level 3 is actually being sent to Impel Down. Now we haven't seen anything about it, but Impel Down will most likely be a whole entire separate thing, and if you do some heinous actions, you will specifically be sent to level 3. And another way to trigger this, or essentially the way to trigger like you getting put inside the jail system, is going to be attacking the townspeople, which will in turn make the Marines come after you, and they will actually be the ones who end up putting you in the jail system. It's not confirmed if player Marines are going to be putting like ability to put pyros inside the jail system, but I fully believe that it will happen. So yeah. And more on the Marines, now there's actually going to be Marine rankings, and you get enlisted from just talking to somebody. And up to a certain point inside the Marine ranking, you will have the ability to eventually go up to the world government to kind of like apply to get the admiral ranking. So it is confirmed that players will be able to become admirals, and to become an admiral, you will specifically have to meet with like the world government, and they'll deem if you're worthy enough to actually like become an admiral for this Marine game. Now, I don't know how that system's going to work, and I hope it's not like you actually have to talk to the Rell brothers to do that, but you will be able to actually become an admiral inside of Rell Seas. So hopefully this breakdown video was actually helpful to you. Like I said, I didn't talk about every single thing, but I did try to like target the most important and cool concepts and topics for this game, because majority of their video, they were just like all over the place. No hate to developers, the video was beautiful, the game is honestly looking fire. But yo, like I said at the start, if this video helped you or just broke down the information in an easier way for you to understand, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll also be doing the same exact thing for movie 2. So please, if you want to see Rell Seas, I'm going to be uploading it like anyways. So if you want to see it, just feel free to subscribe. Like, come on, it won't kill you. But thanks for watching. If you want to see like everything that they said, you can go watch their video. It's on their channel and it's an hour long. And besides that, I already said thanks for watching.